Over the next 2 days, we're going to hear from 4 dynamic couples. Of course, the first 2 hold a special place in not just my heart, but the hearts of many here today. They truly do care about advancing careers, tirelessly striving to get the very best from their people. But here's the thing, when you have the ability to give without want of return, well, that's what makes all the difference. Smashing your personal best, that's the first thing we're going to hear this morning. The numbers are different for each and every one of us in this room, but that's the beauty of you versus you. The type of culture I've been involved in embraces personal challenges, pushes colleagues to always be better and have a mindset of the more, and offers support to each and every one of our team members regardless of where they are at in their real estate journey. How can I be so sure? Because it all starts at the top. Know this, it does not happen by accident. This here did not happen by accident. It happens by design. Nominated for a 5th time as Thought Leader of the Year. It's very exciting this year. And equally as exciting, Black Salt has been recognised for Training and Educational Program of the Year. That needs a little round of applause. Thank you very much. Keep that going. Please welcome the architects of Black Salt, Manos and Maria Findikakis.
One video before we get started. Good morning, everyone.
Hi guys, this is Maria and Manos, and you're watching On the Couch with M&M.
The show to help you build fun and profitable businesses.
It's like 20 years younger.
It was 20. Awesome. I know. Who remembers? Who remembers On the Couch with M&M?
That was about 5-6 different haircuts. So we must have been doing it for a while. I'm talking about me, not you.
And I'm talking about a few more suit sizes for me as well, but that's okay.
It's all so good. We had so much fun. We've got to bring that back. Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to have you here today. A big thank you to Fee and Arthur for opening up day 1. Welcome to the Black Salt movement. We have got 2 phenomenal days installed for you. We have spoken to all of our speakers. We've seen the slides, and I can tell you right now, you're going to be blown away. It's phenomenal, Manos. We're so excited. We spent some time with some of our speakers yesterday. Can't see where they are.
But Novaks, the Novaks.
Yes.
Mr. Chris Henry.
And Chris. And the conversations, sometimes I feel the conversations that you have outside on the breaks and speaking with people and networking are so powerful. You're going to learn a lot from the presentations, but make sure you connect with everyone during the breaks as well, because there's a lot to learn there.
Yeah. And the whole point of first of all, can we have the Black Salt members stand up first, all in their black T-shirts and so forth? Can we give these guys a big round of applause, because nothing happens without these guys, and there's so much work from Zane to Hannah. I won't mention everyone from the Stephs in the room, George, Nick, Elise, Eleni. I hope I haven't forgotten Joe, Christian.
It's a big team, and the team back in the office working today,
100%.
And also our team overseas that helped Manos put all these and the team here to put the wonderful books together. So there's heaps of people behind all of this.
And there's about 200 people in the room today, and there's probably that many streaming in live as well. So we're excited to have everyone, and I'm excited to see so many who came back. Obviously, we had our session in May, and to obviously come back in December, it just shows your commitment to learning and smashing out your PB in 2025. And PB for everyone is a little bit different. We're going to be talking about bulletproofing your processes, accelerating your results, and most importantly, dominating your marketplace. How do you get to be the number 1, 2, 3 in your marketplace? But more importantly, I want you to think about the next 2 days, because business growth and structure was the number 1 topic that we had. But I want everyone to think about, when we go into a vendor's home, we ask 3 things. We try and find out 3 particular things. It's motivation, timing, and destination. Motivation, timing, destination. You need to have the same process for yourself. So to bulletproof your whole a business to accelerate and to dominate, we need to know your motivation, your timing, and the destination. I hope that makes sense.
It does. And what we're going to do over the next 2 days, and especially today, we're going to take you through some points that are going to help you to review, reset, and relaunch. And what we mean by that is if you're not 100% of where you are at the moment in your personal life and professional life, there's always improvements to be made, right? Take a note of all the speakers and everything that you learn. That will help you to review. Just review where your situation is, and especially in your business, right? Then you're going to have all this information coming in over the next couple of days that's going to help you to reset. What are the things that you need to do to actually reset so then you can relaunch your best year yet? And then put those habits in place so then year after year after year you can have a PB, a personal best, which is what this conference is all about.
Yeah, exactly. And it is important to understand it's about setting the foundation to catapult, to leverage what you learn from today. Okay, moving forward, a little bit about us, the M&M report card.
Do I start? Okay. Sorry. Oh, I have to start this one. So we've been together for 38 years. I was 10 when I met Manos. No, I was not, but I was 17. So actually, a fun fact, I'm not sure if everyone knows about this, I met Manos and Arthur on the same day. They actually walked through the front door of my house at the same day. So I met those beautiful guys. They were both 21 years old, backpacking around Europe. I was 17. Very long story. Obviously, a few weeks later, Manos and I were together, and then I had to stay back home for a year because my parents wouldn't let me come to Australia because I was underage. But that's another story. So together for 38 years, you can see our beautiful family there. Our grandson, oh, I'm going to start crying. Ollie is that little pup. She's not that little anymore. She's back in Greece. And that's us. We're going to talk about our why later. That's our why right there. And there's an extra photo that Manos is going to put up a little bit later, which is our team. So all of it is encapsulated in those 3 photos. We've had an amazing life together. We've been in business together every single day since the age of 18 when I came to Australia. And most of that time we've been in business together with Arthur. Apart from 2 or 3 years break in between, the rest of the time we've been in business with Arthur. And Mary is a big part of it as well. You weren't going to get away without me mentioning you. Behind every great man, there's an even greater woman, and Mary is a phenomenal business partner and a great friend. And we're very blessed. We're going to talk about that later too.
And we need to start with lesson 1. So I need you to have your workbooks open. Lesson number 1. I met Maria, as she mentioned, in Athens. 3 weeks later, I proposed to her. So speed of execution is lesson number 1. Some invaluable lessons in that, and there's a number of topics because we know speed is the new success in business, or has been for some times, but it's more critical than ever. Lesson number 1. A short journey for us, 16 years when we first got together. We entered hospitality. For those that know, we started a fish and chip franchise. We had 200 staff, built a chain of 7 stores, and we ran that business for 16 years. Absolutely phenomenal. Really, really, really hard work. But the lessons from that have been, the lessons we learned from that experience helped us build our real estate experience. We got into real estate business, yeah. So cold start in real estate, absolutely cold start. We purchased a cold start franchise and we had to start from zero, absolutely zero experience. Maria had about 1 year of sales experience and we got into listing and selling straight away. So it was a hyper learning curve for us, absolutely hyper. The tools that are available to us today were not available to us 20 odd years ago. So I need everyone to understand, so we're talking about that speed of execution, and speed of knowledge is one of those invaluable tools that we have today. So we stayed in that franchise about 2.5 years. We were able to sell 539 homes. Myself and Maria worked as an EBU. Plus we had Arthur, who joined us as one of our sales reps. So we're a high volume business, but that was from a cold start. We had 0 market share when we entered this marketplace. In the first 12 months, we ended up having 54% market share, and we maintained that for the balance of the business. The exciting thing about that is we're able to duplicate it. So the lessons that we learned back then are still paying off today. So our results today this is lesson number 2. Our results that we gain today are purely dependent on the things that we did and didn't do in the past and what we implemented. So we need to understand that what we do today is going to have a massive impact next month, next year, and beyond, and we leverage everything.
Can I add to this, Manos, a little bit? Also, don't wait for everything to be perfect. I don't know if you actually caught what Manos said before. I was in the industry for 1 year, and Manos was in the industry for 0 years when we opened up our first office. So we literally built the parachute on the way down. One of the first homes that I sold, Manos asked, I got the deposit, and I went back to the office and I handed it over to Manos, and it's like, we got our first sale, there's a deposit. He goes, oh, fantastic, I need to go and pay some bills. I'm like, no, you put that in the trust account. So this is how we learned. We surrounded ourselves with really good people, but we had to learn really, really fast because we made the commitment to go all in. So I don't know, what's number 3? Just don't wait for it to be perfect.
Absolutely.
Build the parachute on the way down.
On the way down.
There's another lesson.
And before you open up a real estate business, find out what a trust account is.
Or you can outsource it to us. We do that.
The next lesson is we took a break. So we held that business for 2.5 years, but we understood the industry was we believed the industry was going through a change. We had an opportunity to sell our business after 30 months and to take a year off. Lesson number 4, I think we're up to, take a year off. I want everyone to start thinking about planning and taking a year off. Nothing. So I'm being serious. So that's it. This is the best conference you've ever attended.
They're going to be back next year.
I can't tell you the lessons we learned by taking that 1 year sabbatical. I was 43 at the time. We got into real estate as I just turned 40. Into the 60th revolution around the sun for me now. But we took that 1 year off, but gee whiz, you get clarity in your why. And our session is about smashing your personal best. But to actually smash your personal best, you actually need to really dig deep and find out what your why is. And taking that 1 year sabbatical was absolutely phenomenal because it really crystallised what was important to us, what wasn't important to us, how we wanted to live the balance of our life, and how we wanted to obviously grow up with our kids and so forth. So that was lesson. Okay.
Still and then, slide 1.
All good. And then back into real estate in 2006, we started EV Real Estate Partners, which is obviously morphed into Agents Agency. We're Australia-wide now. We're selling about $1 billion worth of property every 3 months. So it's an exciting place to be. But we're here today because of the lessons over 20 years, and we're hoping that everyone gets the opportunity to learn those lessons and actually apply it in their business. Because it's not about us, it's about PB's personal best. And I want everyone to really understand personal best. It's not about emulating someone else. Emulating someone else if it inspires you, but not to copy. Find out what your personal best is. And of course, we feel like we're only getting started. And that's our work family.
And that's us in Bali. And next Live It Up conference will be in Crete. I think Arthur mentioned that. So back in Crete, 2026,
June 2026.
2026, yes.
So 18 months away.
Not this June, the June after. We'll be there.
18 months away. Put in your diary. Second week of June, we'll be scheduled at our second home in Crete. Okay, moving forward. So our session
that's your year off.
Our session insights today are the story we sell ourselves, how important that is. Your why is the foundation. My favourite topic, get good at getting good. Get good at getting good. The work-life balance, and the only risk is not taking a risk. So a bit to cover off in the next 30 minutes, but let's go.
All right, we're going to talk about self-talk first, the story we tell ourselves. So everyone does it, right? The words that we use, the things that we tell ourselves shape the way that we feel, the way that we think, the way that we act in the community, and the way that we perceive the world every day. The story that we tell ourselves with other help us, empower us to be better people, better business people, mum, dads, whatever it is that we aspire to be, or it's going to hinder and pull us back. It happens to everybody. We all do it. It's just about awareness. If you're aware that it's happening, then you can either laugh about it. It depends on what it is that you're thinking and you're telling yourself. And I'll tell you one of my ones in a minute. Or bring the awareness, think about it, ask yourself, why am I speaking to myself like that? What is it really that's stopping me? What am I doing right here? This is what I want to achieve. It's not helping me to achieve my goals. I'm going to tell you a little story that I used to tell myself. When I first started in real estate, having fish and chip shops, by the way, and takeaway businesses was quite easy. You're behind the counter, you work really hard, it's a physical job, but it's not communicating one-on-one with people, maybe with our staff members. That's all the experience. So at the age of 33, I find myself obviously in an office trying to use a computer that I never used before and be a salesperson. And I loved it from the beginning, don't get me wrong. But this is the internal dialogue that was going into my head. And I remember sharing it with Manos, and you just couldn't believe it. I used to think, oh my God, I wish my accent was a little bit worse. If it was a bit worse and it wasn't that, because I've got an accent obviously, because English is my second language, but it's not a really heavy, off-the-boat accent. So I used to think, oh, I wish it was worse, so then people, when they hear me talk, they can understand that I'm not from here, and then they're not going to judge me of how articulate I am, right? Phenomenal. I remember sharing that with Manos halfway through my first year in real estate, and you laughed. You just said, honey, anyway, whatever you said to me. We've been really big in lifting each other up. So when we have those thoughts and those negative things coming to our minds, that negative thought, it's been phenomenal working together because we can share that with each other, and then we're there to be able to lift each other. So be careful of the language that you use, because it's going to shape your future, 100%. When you have those thoughts, surround yourself with beautiful people that believe in you, and they can help you, and move you and shift you to better thinking and towards your goals.
Yeah, beautifully. Well said, Maria. Okay, and one of the most important reasons we need to find out about the story that we sell ourselves is because of this challenge we have in real estate. Navigating the highs and lows. Everyone can relate to the highs and lows. Yeah. We have put an unbelievable deal in the morning, and then by the afternoon the buyer's cooled off, or we get an extraordinary offer on a property and the vendor says, no, go get me some more money, discount your fees. The highs and lows are when we lose 2 or 3 listings on the trot. This plays on our mind. Plays on a lot of people's mind, and I know in the first 6 months of real estate, when I lost my first 2 or 3 listings, if we weren't all in, and what I mean all in, mortgage to the hilt for the business that we started, I would have been out. There is just no way that I could handle the rejections and the highs and lows. And I'm a pretty black and white sort of person, very analytical, and kind of makes sense. This is the highest sale price in the area, and you're saying no to me, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor. You promised to, I'm taking Lee Woodward's line, Christian, you promised to name the kids after me and give me the listing, and you gave it to my competitor, can't believe it, all that sort of stuff. So navigating the highs and lows. But what I uncovered in this business, we actually need the highs and lows. Because if there was no highs and lows, we'd all be out of a job. Because AI would be able to do what we do. We are the most valuable component in the whole real estate transaction. And there is absolutely no way that we're going to be ever replaced. We need it. So our job is to get good at navigating the highs and lows. And I'm really hoping that you learn some skills today and put some processes in place and be inspired by those that come across the stage, because on average, every single high performer gets 1 no out of 3. And what I mean by that is 3 listings. Your appraisal to list ratio, for your success ratio, I should say, is 2 out of 3 for most agents. So it's a high percentage. So get used to it, but embrace it. Make it a positive. That's why you're in this game, and that's why we're rewarded extremely well for the efforts that we put in.
Some people actually count the ones that they lose. You know that trick. So if you know you've got to lose 10 listings to get 40, for example, to reach your goals, every time, I can't remember who it was, but I remember every time he lost another one, he was fist pumping. It's like, yes, that's closer to my 10, because then that's my numbers. You know, once I lose 10, I'm going to get my 40, and then I've reached my goal. So that's an interesting way of looking at it. Glass half full.
That's it.
Self-doubt is a silent assassin. It has killed more dreams than any challenge ever imagined. Self-doubt. When you start something new, of course, you're going to have doubts. What I say is get busy. The busier you are doing things about what you want to achieve, the less time you're going to have to be doubtful. First of all, though, you've got to be clear. You've got to be clear about what it is that you want. I remember when I went to Manos, after we've been in, I was in Manos listing and selling property for 1 year, and I happened to go into a franchise meeting. You guys were in that meeting. The franchisor forgot some paperwork at the office in Manos, and he rang me to take the paperwork into the office. And I remember walking into that meeting. It was a big round table, and all the franchisees of MPRE were sitting in that table. And I just looked at them like, oh my God, I want that. I want my own business. That's what I want. And I went home and I told Manos, was there any doubt there? No, I was still excited. I really wanted it. The doubt started creeping in a little bit later when, obviously, when I knew what had to happen. But I got busy. I started getting my full license, started looking for a shop front, had to chip away and convince Manos to actually come on board and join me and live the family business. So as you get busy, as you do things, as you build your brand new business, all that doubt washes away, doesn't it? We've got 2 amazing young people that started their businesses here at the front table, and we're going to hear from you, Katrina, tomorrow. But you guys didn't have any time for doubt. You're just too busy hustling. And when it creeps in, all you can do is just go out there and do more work. Because if you're really certain about what it is that you want, there's no space for doubt. No space.
So when the self-talk and the self-doubt appears, the lesson there is get busy.
Get busy.
Just get onto it. Just get onto that next hustling. Always hustling. Okay. And sometimes we see more talent in others than we see ourselves, and we have this obviously odd perception because of social media. Sometimes we think the grass is greener on the other side, and we feel less confident in actually being able to do what those people do. But what is hidden is that hard work, blood, sweat and tears that every single person in real estate goes through. We've been fortunate to have come across hundreds of real estate agents, and the conversations are the same. Losing listings, deals falling over, challenges at home, work-life balance, the whole lot, finances, you name it. Most people go through it, okay? So we need to understand and just have that self-belief you can do it. And we'll show you some skills and some stories a little bit later of how you can actually engage in that. And nothing is more powerful than an agent whose time has come. And I want you to understand as well, there is an agent for every vendor and a vendor for every agent. that mentality of abundance. And who's lost a listing to an agent and they go, how on earth did I lose that listing to that agent? Yep, absolutely. Because there is an agent for every vendor and a vendor for every agent. And that's the industry we're in. And we need to understand that you can do it and you will find your tribe. And the other lesson that we've uncovered along our journey is be authentic. Don't try and be someone else. Because if you try and be someone else, you're not going to attract the right tribe. Be yourself and magic happens. And I encourage everyone, when you see people who are successful, have a look at, they're not copycats of everyone. It's not a carbon copy of all the success. It's totally different. Okay, so just a couple of, so what's your story?
Are we doing an exercise?
Yeah, we'll do a quick exercise.
Are we writing it down or are we talking to the person next to us?
Talking to the person next to us.
Okay. You could have presented that.
Okay.
I thought that was your slide.
Okay.
Anyway, turn to the person next to you and just quickly maybe share with them one of your successes over the last year or so and one of your challenges. Is that what we're doing?
Absolutely. 30
Off
seconds. Let's go. All right. It's an interesting exercise, isn't it?
Are we on?
Yes, we're
Does
on.
anyone want to share? Can we have one share maybe? One hand up. Sue, you want to share? Do we have a mic? Go on, Dale.
Please.
Hi everyone, I'm Sue Dewar from Dewar Estate Agents. This year we had the pleasure of marketing a property in Wamuran, which is just 5-10 minutes out of Caboolture. We went in against 3 other agents, really good agents in the area, and all quoted a price of around 1.4 for this property as top dollar. And Will and I looked at it and I said to them, you know, I reckon we can get you more than this. And they actually had an amazing swimming pool, like nothing like you've seen before. These guys are professional builders, pool builders. And so anyway, we did the campaign. We 1 to 2 days into it, I said to the vendors, I think we need to just add a twilight shoot to it because I think this pool lit up at night would be amazing. We did that. We added to the campaign. We had 8,000 views on it in the first week. And we sold it for $207,000 above everybody else's predictions. So.
Amazing. Well done.
Well done.
So that's been
awesome.
our biggest success.
Love it. Love it.
And I hate public speaking.
Oh,
You did
I love
so
it.
well. I don't know
And
anyone that loves it.
Love it. And they're the story, and we need to understand our stories, and we're going to be talking about the reverse bucket list and all our successes a little later on, because part of the program is making sure that you can bulletproof your why. Okay, moving on. So our next session is your why is the foundation.
It's my favourite topic. And every book that you read, every podcast that you listen to, when they talk about business, success, dreaming, plans, goal setting, knowing your why is a big part of it, isn't it? So you saw ours on the screen earlier on, our family and our business family. We love going to Greece for 6 months of the year. We haven't achieved that yet, but we will be. At the moment, it's maybe around 3 months of the year. Thank you, Arthur and team. But we work towards that. That's one of our whys. So actually sitting down and working out, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you working the hours that you're working? What are you trying to build? It's so, so important. If you don't have that, if you're not clear about it, when the roller coaster comes, like Manos said before, when all those ups and downs come into your day and your life and your business, you're not going to be able to handle it as well. But if you're clear on why you're doing what you're doing, then it's a lot easier to handle that. And look, you don't do it for that. You don't try and discover your why so you can handle shit days better. No, it's because you really need to know where you're going. Because if you don't, then you're going to end up somewhere else. You know, you're going to end up somewhere where someone else is going to take you. So you might as well follow your own path. And one thing I'm going to encourage you all, because real estate is a lifestyle, it's not a business, yeah? We work 7 days a week. When we're in sales, we still take calls on Saturday and Sunday. We love it when our clients call us, our agents, for advice. So it's a lifestyle. If you are in it not with your partner, and your partner is at home doing something different, it's more important than ever to sit down with them and share that why, and share with them what it's going to take to get to it. Because if you're not working together, doing all those hours together, they have to be in. They have to buy into it so they can be supportive. So it's a huge part of what we do. We used to do this with our kids around this time of the year, every year. Now they've grown up, they do their own thing. But yeah.
And what happens if you don't know your why, Maria? What do you do? Where do you start if you don't know your why?
Well, there's a good place to start. I reckon how many people know? How many people know? Can I have a raise of hand? How many? Very clear or half clear? Okay, the majority of you are. For the ones that didn't raise their hands, there is an exercise for you to do. Write down what you don't want in life. Or, you know what I mean? Like you might not want a mortgage or a credit card to the brim, or you might not want to be working 7 days a week. Just write down what it is that you don't want. If you discover that and you know what it is that you don't want, your things that you want to achieve in life, your why, is going to come to you easier. So that's a good exercise.
Yeah. 100%. And the most important thing is create a personal formula that helps you get shit done and keeps you on track. And what we've done is we've created what we call the game day framework. This is our framework, right? We came up with this acronym. As everyone knows, I love acronyms. And it's all about gratitude, affirmations, meditation, exercise, daily journal, always be learning in your why. Turn to your book right now. And just have a look at it. So there's so much fundamental knowledge in there, but it is a system to keep you on track. And the whole purpose is, so the next action point is to also get out your diary, your electronic diary, and schedule in an implementation day to get this done. Right? Implementation day for your team, because there's both personal and business whys. For you to obviously uncover, but have an implementation day. An implementation day, schedule it in your diary now. And I know you may have to confirm it with someone, but if you schedule it in, for example, next week on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday, if it's in your diary and you have to reschedule it, you will. Does that make sense? So schedule it in your calendar to make sure that you get it done. And there's some invaluable tools in there. Everyone's probably heard of the vision and the dream boards. The happiness triangle is a phenomenal exercise to do, but I strongly encourage to do that, and more importantly, to do this one, the reverse bucket list. It's probably my favourite. Goes back to what Maria said in regards to, if you don't know what your why is, work on what you don't want to have.
This is more about being grateful of what you have achieved, Manos. Yeah, the reverse bucket list. So it's actually, it's thinking about what you have already achieved and bringing gratefulness into it. Sometimes we just strive and strive and strive, and let's work harder, and let's go to the next milestone, and the next milestone, and the next milestone, and we don't take the time to sit back and reflect and go, pat on the back, good on you, you did really well, and just be grateful for what we already have. If you constantly do that, you're going to burn out. And we've seen it happen in this business over and over again. I don't know what it is. Maybe people just forget to just stop and take some time out and enjoy and smell the roses. Maybe, I don't know. They get all caught up in it. But the reverse bucket list will bring awareness into that. So the way to do it, actually, as well, if I can give you some practical, if you have a vision board, who's got a vision board? Get a vision board up. It's really good, even if it's on your phone. Vision board is obviously putting the pictures together of what it is that you want to achieve over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, what's important to you. So I have a vision board. Once you achieve that, you just pick up the picture, or if it's electronic, you just drag it into your reverse bucket list, and that's it. You've achieved it. But it's there to remind you of your successes and something to be grateful for.
And we've got our beautiful Kristen Carlisle McKenzie, who I know she's up on there too. I remember her at Black Salt May and getting up on stage, and that's one of her successes, and congratulations on that and everything that you and Jax and the team have achieved, Emily. Okay, moving forward, and we'll go through this quickly. Self-assessment. The first step to creating the life and business you want is to take responsibility for the life you have. We are in the exact position we are meant to be based on the decisions, the actions, the inactions, the non-decisions we've made. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And I think once you acknowledge that and you accept that, you take total control of everything. Everything's in your control. Everything. You are responsible for everything. Don't let outside circumstances take over your thoughts. You're in control. And I've put this exercise in the workbook, Stop, Start, More, Less. It's a phenomenal exercise, page 52 of your workbook, because good habits build momentum and bad habits create barriers. And I've got Mr. Claudio Cuomo up there on the screen, because I know he's got some spectacular habits that have propelled him both personally and professionally. And one of his habits is, on a professional note, is changing his voicemail on a daily basis. And in your sales agent framework, we've got the absolute fundamentals and the absolute basics to nail. And we won't have time to do that. But those 2 chapters in these workbooks are your absolute fundamentals. And one of them is, did you have them at hello? How memorable is your voicemail? And if anyone has ever called Claudio and got his message bank, which is quite often, because he schedules his day, he's so disciplined in structuring his day. That's why he's selling over 200 homes a year. Success leaves clues. Okay, so one thing I want everyone to write down, just one thing that stop, start, more, less. In any of those chapters, what do you need to stop? What do you need to start? What do you need to be doing more of? What do you need to be doing less? We've only got a quick minute for this one.
Just remember, guys, it all starts with small changes. They don't have to be huge. Just something little. It's just those little habits, and you keep adding them on, and that's where the big changes come. Close. Apart, closer. Thank you. While the guys are writing, the book about stacking your habits, who was that? I can't remember his name. Who's read the book? Yes, James Clear.
Yes.
That's a great book, guys. If anyone hasn't read that or listened to that.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. But what he mentions in there is about stacking your habits. So if it's something that you do in the morning, say a cup of coffee, if you want to do something different that you've never done before, if you, say, stick to that, listening to a podcast while I'm having my coffee, then that becomes a new habit. So he explains it really well in the book, much better than what I just did. So I encourage you to get the book.
Okay. This is my favourite session inside of the whole program, Get Good at Getting Good. What I love about this session is about getting good at learning, because speed of business is important, but speed of education, it begins there. Speed of education. So get good at getting good. And I'll go through a couple of things. Going pro. We must understand things don't get easier, you just get better. And when you get better, you start to fall in love with what you do. And that good old saying, if you love what you do, you end up not working another day in your life because you're so passionate about it. And, you know, we've got the beautiful Charlotte Broad up there, and again, Gary Jones, because in May's session, Gary Jones said one thing, which was a real light bulb penny drop moment for myself, because I had never heard it before. Who can remember what Gary said?
I can, but I'm not going to.
Yes, please, David.
The pre-settlement.
Yes.
The pre-settlement inspection. And can I ask if you implemented it, David? I love it.
Good on you for being honest,
and thank
David.
you for being honest, because I think it's really, really important, because it's understanding. We all have access to the same ingredients. We all have access to the same information, the same tools. And sometimes I speak to agents, go, I'm not going to share all my secrets, the whole lot. But the reality is, few implement. And that's not saying it's right or wrong. What is right about it is making sure that you're authentic about what you're doing. So absolutely invaluable session that was. And if you missed it, for those people who are new to Black Salt, you can go back and see that recording with Charlotte and Gary. Invaluable. Things don't get easier, you just get better. All in. Make the decision to be in real estate for the rest of your life. And of course, I've got Joel Hood, who was one of the highest rated speakers at Black Salt in May. His session was absolutely invaluable, $0 to $1 million in 15 months. And his session later on today is going to be absolutely inspiring of how you become an attraction agent and excel to I won't disclose your figures.
But can I just say,
right?
though, that's the line up there. It's exactly what Joel said to you when he decided to go back into real estate after a small stint in corporate. Didn't you, Joel? It was exactly those words.
Yeah.
It's like, I love this business. I'm going to do this until I'm not here anymore, or something like that. So, just.
And when you make that
you
decision, why it's important is because you start putting the structure in place to be in it for the rest of your life, to have the work-life balance that you want, to hire the team to support you. You can never shrink yourself to greatness, to put the processes in place, to get good at getting good, to be the master lister, to be the master buyer's agent, to be the master in your whole processes. And that's why I get excited about these sessions, is because hopefully there's some light bulb moments and say, I got it. And then
We're going to go fast, Manos.
Absolutely.
3
Okay,
minutes.
your greatest competitive advantage. Have you and or your family or friends bought or sold recently? Daniel. Okay, I'll share this story. Do you want to just share your story that you shared with me last week at dinner about your experience in purchasing and how many buyers followed you up and asked that important question?
Yeah, fair point. Morning, everybody. So my experience was interesting. I've been looking casually for a property for about 3-4 years now. Just started prior to COVID, so bad time, I know. Stopped during COVID. Been to probably 150 opens, I'd say.
Wow.
And I was telling Manos and Maria the other day that I reckon I could count on one hand agents that actually ask the right questions out of about 100 to 150 opens, and obviously Monday follow-ups. So it's pretty shocking. Like, I reckon I was maybe asked twice whether I needed to sell before I bought, and I reckon maybe once they actually followed me up to do an appraisal around getting a rental appraisal if I didn't need to sell the previous place. So, and then I actually went through with having them do that. So I thought, well, I'll give them credit. And yeah, so in the end I didn't use them, but hey. But yeah, it's just really shocking that agents are not doing the basics.
Yep.
And for those that stand out, you know, we're going to use them for the next time we sell, because it's really, really shocking.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel.
It's not hard to be better, is it?
It's not hard. Okay, being busy. And for those who know Jonathan Bell's story and Nick Georges, who's a wingman, as I mentioned, we all have access to the same ingredients, but we're focusing our efforts on high-value work, right? High-value work. And again, through this session today and tomorrow, you'll find some tactics that successful agents are using just to do their high-value work. There is no excuse. Jonathan Bell built a rent roll to 100, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, to 100. He didn't have a business card and he didn't have a website. Is that correct? I'm not sure if he did have a license. No, but again, no excuses. Okay, moving forward. The work-life balance.
I think we spoke about that a little bit before. It's just actually recognising that we all have a choice. I'm not going to read that. I'm just going to tell you that you have to put boundaries, because we're running out of time as well, and I'm just going to make it really short. Boundaries is the most important thing about work-life balance. We were talking about this with Lisa last night. Set your boundaries. This business can actually take up all of you, the entire you, if you let it. So especially if you've got a family and young kids and a partner that's not working in the business, make sure you have clear boundaries around the balance of work and your life. Simple things to do. I'm not going to pick up my phone after 7 o'clock at night, or I'm not going to pick up my phone before 7 in the morning because I'm going to go to the gym at 5 and I'm going to spend some time with my husband. It is what it is. Everyone is different. Just make sure you sit down and work out what it is important to you first, outside of work. Put that together, and then the work life will come around that.
And what will it take? Absolutely 6 to 12 months. If you want to make a big dent in your future, 6 to 12 months of grind will get you there. So your sphere matters. Who are your people? Who are your tribe?
It's so important, especially they say you're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with in your personal life. I've read it somewhere. I'm sure you have too. And I'm sure it's true. Most of stats are, aren't they? But, you know, surround yourself in your personal life with people that lift you. We've talked about that before. We've got an amazing family. We've got beautiful friends. We're surrounding us. Our work family is our family. We're very blessed to be spending time every single day with like-minded people. We love seeing them succeed, and they do too when we succeed. So that's really, really important. And when it comes to work and hiring people, there's one thing that I'm going to say. Hire very, very slow and let go very fast. So once you're 100% sure and you'll know in your gut straight away that that person that you just hired doesn't work in your work life and in your culture, make that decision really fast, but hire very slow.
Yeah. You must have non-negotiables. The destination is not the prize, loving the journey is. So understanding that when you get good at process, when you get good at what you need to be doing in real estate, and then understanding how to get that work-life balance, you're loving the journey. And as Maria mentioned, the non-negotiables. The only risk is not taking a risk. The path to an absolutely, last 2 slides, an absolute personal best. We need to define what a PB means to you, your personal best. It's not someone else's, your personal, both from a personal level and a financial level, business level. Identify the needle movers. When we talk about reviewing your past successes, and if you didn't attend last week's setting up for a massive 2025 session virtual, please go back into the portal and listen to it. We go into depth in regards to the workbook, setting up your business plans and so forth, identifying the needle movers. Have an accountability buddy. You need that. Get out of your comfort zone. The biggest learnings of all time is getting out of your comfort zone and putting yourself out there. If you, one of the best things real estate agents can do is take an auctioneer's course. An auctioneer's course, whether you use it as an auctioneer or not, but taking an auctioneer's course is absolutely brilliant. Start by strengthening your weakest link, measure and celebrate milestones. The risk of inaction. Maria?
Manos, you put that slide on every year, I think. Look, with some of the things it might be true that we haven't achieved yet, but, I can tell you right now, I'll read it first. My goal in 2025 is to complete my goal for 2024, which I should have had completed in 2023, because I promised myself I would achieve those goals in 2022, which I had written down to do in 2021. Now, if you've got, it's fantastic, isn't it? Some of it, we keep putting it back into our goal, into our vision board, keep putting it back year after year after year. I want to challenge you this year to have a look at it and just go, do I really want that? Why am I putting that thing back into my goals and back into my vision board? Do I really want that? And if not, then obviously, if you do, then take some action, because 6 years is long enough, don't you think? Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, take a photo, guys. These two books, The Psychology of Money and Same as Ever, absolutely invaluable. It really clarifies. If you're struggling with your why, please read these books. Absolutely invaluable. Love the guy, love the simplicity he puts into uncovering your why and getting that work-life balance and what it actually means, what success actually means to you. And Maria, The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. It's a beautiful book. Can you tell which one is my pick of the books up there, which one is Manos? The Psychology of Money. Same as Ever, I read it, I've listened to as well. Alchemist is a beautiful trip, a journey of a young person achieving their dreams. It's just a really gorgeous book. And actually, all of his books are really good. The Fifth Agreement, The Fourth Agreement, all of them, they're very, very good. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, guys. Run over time.
Enjoy the next speaker. Christine is phenomenal, but I'll let Fee do the introduction. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Big round of applause. Absolute fantastic session. Thank you so much, Manos and Maria. I think there is a statement that I would use to describe Manos and Maria amongst other things, but is authenticity personified. Would you agree with me on that? Let's give them another round of applause. I don't know about you, but I've got notes written down. I've got my Post-its out here. I think one of the interesting things, I love that final slide in terms of when we have identified, sorry, I can see this in the background here. Okay, so when we've identified what we want to do over the last 6 years, one of the things that I say to all my coaching clients is you do keep putting all of these things on your list. And maybe you do want to achieve them, but you are grossly overestimating what you are going to get done in 1 year. Right? We all do it. And every time I sit down and do planning with my coachees, I'm seeing that it's literally where we start, right? And what we end up doing is you will underestimate what you can get done in 10. So sometimes when you start off, and if you do look back over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years and see these things that you keep putting on your list, perhaps you do want to do them, but it's not right now, right? So I've got a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old all girls. And they are all me, just for good measure. So you can imagine my house is very quiet. And they are, sit in the corner colouring in with pigtails in their hair. No. But what I have had to work out as a parent, how many of us are parents in the room? There are so many things that I have on my list to do, both in my business and in my personal life. And if you can write this down somewhere, I'm going to give you a little tip as you're working out your why and your goals. And you will have heard the acronym SMART, SMART goals. Who's heard SMART goals? Okay, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. I didn't make that bit up. But the two that I do with my coachees that is a game changer is I make them smarter, ER. Put the ER, this is imperative for you. The ER stands for energy and risk. Energy and risk. And this is where the delineation will come in for you. Once you've identified your why you're doing something, you've got your list of things that you want to do, your ideal. They're just ideas. Until you put them into action and commit to them, they're just ideas. And what you're going to do is you're going to do an assessment of the energy that it's going to take to achieve that goal. Is everybody with me? Right? Now, I was on the phone to a friend of mine the other day. Some of you will know him. I call him the Miyagi of real estate, Chris Hanley. And Chris Hanley, who's a great friend of mine and mentor, we were having a conversation and he said to me, Miss Blaney, because that's what he calls me, he says, Miss Blaney, how's your running going? Now, I very quickly, as you can tell by my physique right now, it is not a runner's physique. And I quickly melted into the floor because I was a runner. I would run every morning. I would run 10s, I would run 20s kilometres, that is not metres. And I had this moment. And if I wasn't very clear on my goals and where my time and my energy and the risk was being spent, I could have started to spiral down a, Fiona, you're meant to run. It's on your list. It's a goal. It's what you do. But instead, I remember my energy right now in running half marathons and all the things that I once did, that energy is being put in alternative spaces, right? Because who runs in the room? Any runners here? Long distance runners, right? You'll know that when you run for hours, right? You don't go out for a 10-minute run, you go out for an hour, a 2-hour, 3-hour run. I don't have the energy available in my daily calendar, weekly, monthly. I could if I wanted to, make sense? If I wanted to go for a run, could I? Yes, of course. But I identified the energy that's required in order to do that and the risk of what I'm going to leave behind, right? And that risk of what I leave behind is something that I might need to be doing in my business that I've decided right now has a higher priority in my list of goals. Does that make sense? Right? And what Manos and Maria are talking about today is they're saying, work out your why, your PB. What is it that you want to do? Not what somebody on the stage is doing, not what Chris Hanley, my dear friend, suggests to me on the phone, not what my significant other might want for me. It's about what do I want and what is that PB going to be for me? And being very clear on the energy that you need, time energy, physical energy, emotional energy, and financial energy in order to bring that goal to a realization and make it an achievement. And when we are very clear on the why, the energy that we need, and the risks if we do it or if we don't, where do you think our achievement rating is going to be out of 10? When we're hyper clear and we've worked that through. Are we at a 1 or are we at a 10, right? We're at a 10. So I think taking out of all that authentic chat today from Manos and Maria, to me, I put down those elements of stopping, reviewing, reset, relaunch. You're going to see these out on the boards. What is my PB going to do? Why do I want it? How am I going to make that happen? Do I need a vision board? Little takeaway vision boards as your screen, or your home screen on your phone is a great idea. So every time you look at your phone, you're seeing why you're picking that phone up for that day and taking that particular phone call. And remembering that you'll completely overestimate what you'll get done in a year. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you didn't set yourself up for success. So I think this session this morning was a great way to set us all up for success. Agree? All right, fantastic. So